The Path to Enlightenment by yours truly, Ricardo B. Serrano. Buddha said, "No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path." The Buddha was a prince by birth, but decided to abandon his royal title and pursue spiritual growth after witnessing sufferings of human life. Siddhartha Gautama was not satisfied with his life and decided to run from the palace on his horse Kantaka with the help of his stable master Shana. He rose one night, took a last look at his wife and son, mounted his horse, and rode off. At the city gates, he cut off his long hair and handed over his princely robes to Chana. Siddhartha searched for the truth of life. After leaving his palace, Siddhartha journeyed to the capital of Magda, Rajhira, in ancient India, where he came across several monks meditating in hill caves. He became a disciple of an ascetic named Alara Klama, who taught him how to upgrade his character or cultivate himself. After a period of cultivation, the prince couldn't progress anymore and thus began cultivation under a recluse named Udaka Ramaputta. After cultivating for some time, again he realized that he couldn't make further progress. Thereafter he joined 5 sages in the woods of Benares to cultivate by way of severe fasting and observing austerity. From then onward, others began to refer to Prince Siddhartha as Shakyamuni, meaning lion sage. After cultivating like this for 6 years, Shakyamuni discovered that he hadn't become enlightened, but his physical body had become emaciated. While meditating one day, he overheard the conversation of 2 musicians traveling the road in a boat. The experienced one taught the novice that the strings of the lute should be neither too tight nor too loose. If the strings were tuned too tight, they would break, and if the strings were tuned too loose, the music would not come out right. Upon hearing this, Shakyamuni suddenly enlightened to the principle of taking the middle path and not going to extremes. He then left to wander about. On his way, he met a village girl named Suhata, who offered rice pudding to the emaciated Shakyamuni. Legend says that Shakyamuni's body returned to normal after eating it. The Enlightenment. He then sat under a peepal tree in the jungles of Orvela and vowed not to come out of meditation until enlightened. He encountered demonic interference from a demon named Mara, who tempted him in a variety of ways, but failed to break Shakyamuni's resolve. Upon seeing that Shakyamuni was about to transcend his domain of desires and attachments, Mara became infuriated and sent armed monsters to attack Shakyamuni, but Shakyamuni remained unmoved by these assaults and all subsequent distractions. Upon being defeated and realizing that he couldn't break Shakyamuni's concentration, Mara mocked him by saying that although he had won, there was no one to witness his victory. Shakyamuni touched the ground with his right hand, indicating that the earth would bear witness. The earth trembled in response, indicating that it would indeed bear witness to Sakyamuni's triumph. Shakyamuni continued his diligent cultivation from that moment on, and later reached enlightenment, attaining the realm of Buddha. Upon attaining Buddhahood, he set out on his predestined mission to offer salvation to humans. Shakyamuni delivered his first sermon to his former companions, the 5 sages in Benares. Slowly his number of disciples grew to around 80,000. When King Suddhodana learned that his son has become a Buddha, he invited him to his kingdom and criticized him for begging for food, though he was rich enough to feed thousands of followers. Shakyamuni explained to his father that it was a requirement of his cultivation system. During this time, Shakyamuni's half-brother Ananda, who was about to be declared crown prince and be married to Princess Sundari, decided to practice cultivation himself and became a disciple of Shakyamuni. Later, Shakyamuni's son Rahula and mother also became his disciples. However, not all went smoothly. Shakyamuni's cousin Devadutta tried to kill him many times out of jealousy, but the Buddha forgave him out of compassion. A notorious brigand named Angulimal also tried to kill him, but ended up being his student. Shakyamuni traveled far and wide to offer salvation to people. While he was with his disciples on the bank of the Hiranyavati river, he took the meal offered by a blacksmith and fell ill. On the full moon night in the month of his birth, in 483 BC, Shakyamuni spoke to all his disciples one last time before he entered Nirvana. One of his quotation said, Buddha said, "Peace comes from within, do not seek it without." A commentary and satsang by Acharya Ricardo B. Serrano. The story of Buddha Shakyamuni shows that no one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may, and that we ourselves must walk the path to awakening. I believe that his self-realization or enlightenment, Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, or supreme perfect wisdom, is the result of the union or oneness of his incarnated soul, called Nirmanakaya, with a higher soul called Sambhogakaya, that is connected to the divine spark called Dharmakaya within all of us. The classical iconographic representation of the Buddha's realization shows him touching the earth with his right hand and calling the earth to witness his attainment. And what is this attainment? It is realizing that our ultimate nature is nothing other than the 3 kayas or bodies of the Buddha nature: Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Dharmakaya of the Buddha. This is a realization in which we see that there is not, nor even was, any ground for ego at all. Venerable Jian Hu, in his introduction to Buddhism, said, quote, "Buddhists believe that everyone can become a Buddha. Being a Buddha means being awakened, free from delusions and sufferings, and perfect in wisdom and compassion. To be awakened means to see reality as it is, not as we think it is. To see reality is to gain true wisdom, and this wisdom will free us. We are not trapped by external conditions, but by our misperceptions and prejudices. Whatever we do, our actions create reactions that come back to affect us. Because of this, we are responsible for our actions. Also because of this, we are responsible for our salvation. And exactly because of this, each one of us is capable of achieving perfection. We just need to know how. The Dharma teaches us how. There are many ways of practice, many Dharma gates to achieve enlightenment or self-realization, and they all fall into these general categories: performing good deeds, meditation, and studying the Dharma, unquote. The word swastika is Sanskrit. Swa means higher self, and asti means being, and ka is a suffix. The word may be understood as being with higher self. The 7 books of author Ricardo B. Serrano cover the basics of advanced combination of meditation and enlightenment Qigong forms for attaining oneness with higher self or self-realization. To become a self-realized being is Shanren or Srivatsa, symbolized by swastika. I, Ricardo B. Serrano, have written and updated the 7 books, especially Oneness with Shiva, to share the meditation and Qigong techniques I have applied to experience the heart-opening blissful state of oneness as a result of experiencing union with the higher self, the I Am, the essence of all things that is emptiness. God and the individual are one. To realize this is the essence of meditation and Qigong. Master Choa said, quote, "The higher self, the higher soul, is the seed of God's divinity within all of us. Through the higher soul, we are made in the image of God," unquote. He said also, Master Choa said, "Being one with our higher soul, we become with the I Am, the Christ, the Buddha nature, or the Shiva within us. I said, as Acharya Ricardo B. Serrano, when one attains oneness with the higher soul, you lose anger, insecurity, depression, anxiety, fear of old age and death." According to Master Shah, Shu Yan is the purification practice of soul, heart, mind, and body in order to reach soul, mind, body enlightenment. To attain nirvana is to reach the Kong or Buddhist state by chanting the Heart Sutra to open one's heart. Ricardo Serrano. The Heart Sutra is an indispensable mantra for attaining the highest enlightenment. It is the means to reach Buddhahood, according to Master Ji Gongsha. Thank you. The Heart Sutra is a foundational sutra in Buddhism. Even though it is short and precise, Heart Sutra is the core, the essence or the heart of Shakyamuni Buddha's teaching. This important sutra is recited daily by most of the temples in the world. Heart Sutra is a summary of Buddha's core teachings through the view of emptiness, and it contradicts to the normal view of reality perceived by the ordinary mind and the six senses. The sutra also explains how Bodhisattvas and Buddhas see the world and illustrate the path to enter nirvana. The key message of Heart Sutra is to eliminate negative obstructions in one's mind, because the ultimate reality is corrupted under the illusion of what one sees, hears, smells, tastes, touches, and thinks. When these obstructions have been removed, one will realize that everything in this world is impermanent and there is nothing called self-existent. In Buddhism, the true self-existence is simply a pure, unobstructed, undefined, and infinite awareness, which is not abided or attached to any object or substance. Even though Heart Sutra is one of the shortest sutras in Buddhism, it summarizes all the key aspects of Shakyamuni Buddha's teaching. Therefore, Heart Sutra is widely circulated and recited in the world.